Hello everybody and welcome. This is CDS here bringing you guys an interesting little update video. So, earlier this morning I went ahead and checked my email because I am subscribed to the Nintendo of America, yada yada, those kind of emails, Pokemon Company, and I noticed something that apparently Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct today, as of the 9th, obviously, and they discussed a couple of things that I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit. The first one is something I'm going to go over mostly briefly because it is something that I am really happy about, but at the same time, it's not something that's relevant to the footage you're seeing anyway. And that is the fact that pretty soon, coming March 3rd or 9th or somewhere around there, early week of March, we're going to be getting Pokemon Rescue Team DX, which is essentially going to be a remake of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team and Blue Rescue Team, which, as far as I understand, none of the Rescue Team games have ever had a remake. I've played all of them up until Super Mystery Dungeon. I did actually skip Game Infinity, so I guess I haven't played all of them. But I am a huge fan of the Mystery Dungeon series. It was actually my very first Game Boy Advance game with Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team. Because my mom mistakenly got that for me instead of Pokemon Ruby because she didn't really know the difference. But even with that mistake, I put well over 600 hours into that game. So definitely one of my favorite games. And Explorers of Sky was also fucking fantastic. Super Mystery Dungeon, I don't have a lot of playtime with, but it is still a freaking fantastic thing. And I am very excited to see where this is going to be going. Um, there's apparently a demo out, actually, at the time of this recording, which I will probably be recording and showing on the channel for reasons that are quite obvious, because I'm a Pokemon guy, so of course I'm going to show that off. But also, the main topic I want to talk about is the fact that I was right, basically. Nintendo announced during the presentation today, or during the direct today, that they are going to be releasing a expansion pass for Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. The you think it's the Crown something pass, and then the Tundra pass or whatever. I don't really care what the names are. The point is that in the trailer, which I'm not going to show for syndication purposes, in the trailer that they showed, they did reveal that there will be several new Pokemon, and by new Pokemon I mean Pokemon that were not in the game previously. And on top of that, the starter Pokemon are finally going to have Dynamax forms, which is fucking cool. Gigantamax forms, rather, as well as Blastoise and Venusaur will also have their own Gigantamax forms. Along with some of the Pokemon that were revealed, they revealed the Nidorino line in the game. They revealed what appeared to be Galarian forms of the three legendary birds, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. But since they're Galarian forms, that also means that we're going to be allowed to bring the regular forms into the game, since we can do the same thing with Meowth and Yamask. So I seen, and also I know that I believe that Ninetales is also going to be in the game, Alolan Ninetales, when the Pokemon Home app comes out and we start getting access to that. But yeah, we're actually going to be able to bring in more than because if you look on Cerebi's page, the initial Pokemon that were announced to actually be in the game yet not be in the Dex were like some Generation 5 legendaries, Reshiram, Zekrom, and Kyurem, as well as the Swords of Justice. Along with that, they also had what else? They didn't have anything from Gen 4, if I remember correctly. They had, obviously, Mew, of course, which I do actually have one. You actually get that from the fucking, whatchamacallit, from the Pokeball Plus thing. A friend of mine actually gave me this one, so that's pretty freaking cool. Anyway, and you can also get the Kanto starters and Alolan variants of Pokemon that are in the game. So, with this in mind, there are more Pokemon now that were not shown there. For example, one of them is the Garchomp line. We're going to be able to access the Garchomp line, the Metagross line, because they did show Beldum will be in the game, and just a bunch of other Pokemon, probably a lot more. And essentially what this means to me is that my theory that I put out about 6 months ago about Pokemon Sword and Shield possibly having the National Dex as DLC It's kind of true because um, I've always thought since the games were announced that Pokemon Company was going to eventually release some form of paid DLC that would give you access to more Pokemon in the regional decks and also alternate forms and possibly even new adventures, which that I haven't even gotten into. But yes, the new expansion passes are actually they're unlike they stated verbatim that it's unlike the instances before where like there was a third game in the series and then it was like a separate thing for in the case of Platinum or the Ultra games. In this case, we're actually going to be able to use our file or sword or shield and play the game that way as just literally an expansion to the regular game, and that's freaking awesome. I've heard a lot of people from the few hours since I've been up that I've been looking up people reacting to this, complaining that like, oh well, this should have been in the base game and yada yada yada. But I'm like, I would rather. Okay, so most game companies that do things like this, I do not approve of on the most part, because what they do is they release an unfinished game and then release paid DLC that fixes small issues that should have been fixed before the game released. In the case of Sword and Shield, the base game feels complete. I mean, yes, of course, the national dex not being in the game is kind of a pain in the dick, but overall, the game is complete. The game is finished. The game is fully playable, and yada yada yada. Very little glitches. If I've never seen any myself. Obviously, graphical pop in, but I think that's more of a thing with the Switch and trying to keep memory down or something around that lines. I ain't no game developer, so I don't know exactly, but that's just kind of my theory on the matter. But regardless of that, um, I don't believe that Pokemon Sword and Shield were half baked. I believe that they were, they came out as completed as Nintendo could make them at the time. Because you got to remember that since Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield are part of the Pokemon franchise, there's other things that are going to be in the way, unlike with the Mario series, where you can pretty much just play, like just release a Mario game and call it a day. It's why Mario games quality compared to other game systems or game outlets. I don't want to fucking fight a damn Butterfree. And this expansion pass thing says some really good stuff because at first when I saw the news on my email, I thought at first that that they would actually be. Wait, hold on. Are there going to be Ralts in this here? I'm actually been trying to capture a shiny Ralts, so I really want to get one here. Anyway, so for the most part, oh shit, what was I going at? Hold on, I'll figure it out. um, just crap. What was I going with? Oh my god, I fucking totally had a brain fart there. Well, let me just try to get like rewind back here. Um, I was suspecting from the beginning, as I said before in one of my previous videos, that Pokemon Sword and Shield were going to make some sort of DLC that would allow us access to past gen Pokemon. And it turns out that I was 100% right. I wasn't, well, not 100% right, I was like 90% right, because I did say the National Dex as DLC, which I would be perfectly fine with them, like, doing this slowly. I don't care if I sink another $150 into the game. It doesn't matter to me. I'm more than willing to do that to have all of my Pokemon from every region on a fucking console. Yes, please. I've been really liking Sword and Shield as a whole, and I would definitely like to see that sort of thing continue. We shall see, though. But yeah, that's what I was saying about Pokemon Company and all that stuff, and how they're not just a game company and all that. Overall, they are also an anime company. They're also a card company and all that stuff. And those things all will like delay. Sorry, all those things will like delay, or rather, not delay, more like force Nintendo or force Pokemon Company to actually produce the games quicker, which is why they pretty much come out annually nowadays since the beginning, really. But this is thankfully something that they can amend now that they couldn't really do before, and that's with expandable DLC. Because with the handheld entries of the series, If you wanted to make an expansion to the game, you'd basically have to make a whole brand new cartridge, which is, well, what they've been doing with the third installments, or in the case of Black and White 2 and Ultra Sun and Moon, uh, alternate continuities or extra timelines. You know, they've had to release entirely new games, but with the much larger, immensely larger power of the Switch compared to the 3DS, they can release actual DLC instead of, you know, releasing a whole brand new game. And I think personally, well, the concept is not the best way to handle the situation. Obviously, they should have, you know, or they obviously I feel that they should have just released every single thing in the game at once, but you know, I digress. But let me actually talk about the actual fucking decks or the actual freaking game for a sec, because according to the trailer that I saw, not only will we be getting new or access to old Pokemon, but we'll also be getting apparently 2 new Pokemon. Their names have not been revealed, but they do have the designs. I will probably leave a link in the description to the actual direct in case you guys haven't seen it. I just didn't want to actually record over the direct because I've heard some nasty stories about copyright from people about it. So, I also thought that the 2 DLC expansion passes, the first and second packs, were going to be Sword and Shield exclusive, meaning that you could only get one in Sword, which didn't really make sense to me until I saw the trailer, because one of them releases in June and the other one releases in the fall. And I was very confused because I was thinking, like, wait, well, if one releases in Sword, that being the first one that they showed, wouldn't that mean that Shield players would be screwed until the flea? You can actually receive both of the expansion passes of Sword and Shield, and you can have them in both Sword or Shield. Now, granted, there will be differences, such as different trainers, different available Pokemon, and whatnot, but the point is that you can explore both of these expansion passes in both versions of the game, which is awesome. Let me see real quick, because I am online right now. I'm going to actually check paid content, direct to the Nintendo shop. Game won't be closed. You can resume it later. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to check something. Okay. Disconnect. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and actually see, because I haven't turned my Switch on in like 3 days until I saw this, so. Oh, wow. So only $30. That's actually what I was expecting. That's a lot better price than I expected. I was expecting like 40 or 50, 45 bucks, but 30 bucks? I'm going to take that. That is definitely a good way to put it, man, because that's awesome. So 30 bucks for the expansion pass, which will include both the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra, be released on the 30th of June and the 30th of November. Expansion pass only for Pokemon Sword. If you were playing Shield, please pick up the Shield expansion pass. Your adventure continues in the Pokemon expansion pass containing new stories to experience, new Pokemon to encounter, and new wild areas to explore. You'll even meet new and returning legendary Pokemon along the way. The expansion pass contains 2 expansions releasing in June and fall of 2020 respectively. Following DLC includes the Isle of Armor, scheduled for release in 6/30/2020, and the Crown Tundra, release schedule for 11/30/2020. Purchase benefits: when you purchase the Sword and Shield expansion pass, you will receive Pikachu uniform and Eevee uniform as a purchase bonus. When you purchase the Pokemon expansion pass, you will receive an email to address registered on your Nintendo account containing a serial code. So, like mystery gift, yada yada yada. Subscription to online paid is not required, so that's cool. That means that people who have who don't have Nintendo Switch Online, they don't have to actually use this. That's really cool. Only one of them can be used per save data. Each costume cannot be used for multiple save data. Well, I'm definitely going to get the Eevee one for that one, because I love Eevee way more than Pikachu. Pokemon Sword and Shield expansion pass each offer version exclusive Pokemon and characters. 2 expansions included, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, there's the rest of the stuff like that. So, yeah. That is... I wish they gave us a little more details here, but we can definitely... we'll definitely see more details as time goes on, and I am so fucking jazzed for it. I'm probably just gonna fucking play Sword and Shield like all day or all week the next few days. Just what the hell was that I saw? poses at you all week the next couple of or all day the next couple of days, just to, I guess, rehype myself. Because if you could see by my Pokedex though, I have almost everything in the decks. Everything that's not in here is in another box. I'm still missing Appleton and like a couple other ones. Appleton and type Null, I believe, are all I'm missing because I already have Silvally. I did put Charmeleon in here, but that's about it. But anyway, so yeah, that's just kind of what I'm aware of when it comes to the expansion pass. I might put a subtitle for the title of this video just says "I was right" because yeah, I just had a really good feeling that there was going to be some actual DLC for the game that would give us more options, more Pokemon. I didn't expect an entirely different side story or like entirely different areas to explore, but I am way happier than that than with just the national decks because, god damn. So let's hope that when the expansion passes come out, they are gonna knock our fucking socks off, and on top of that, we're gonna get even more stuff, which would be just the greatest thing I've ever experienced in a Pokemon game. Hopefully, eventually, in the end of 2020 or possibly early 2021, we will have every single Pokemon, all 890 of these bastards, plus all their alternate forms and everything else, to have in our Pokemon Sword and Shield experience for all to enjoy. So, yeah, that's going to go ahead and do it for this video, though, guys. I really hope you guys are excited for this, just like I am. I know it doesn't sound like I'm very excited, but trust me, I'm trying to hold the excitement like nobody's fucking business. But anyway, so that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any ideas for future content, please leave your suggestions in the comment section down below or on my Twitter page @SoDyrus. Link will be in the description. And until next time, this has been ZDS, making YouTube fun one video at a time, and I will see you guys in the next video.